Well, normally I'd be riding shotgun, but it's something special today. We're at the test track. This is something new for the Bespoke Motor Company, a new vehicle manufacturer in Nova Scotia. And it's taking the best of the old and putting it in with the new. And we're going to go for a drive here on MariTIME Machines. So we are in New Glasgow. The last time I swung by, we had a look at this, but this is something a little different. This is a chance for us to see this thing up close and personal. Jeff Fraser, how are you?
Very good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Tell me about your role here. How long have you been working with the Bespoke Motor Company?
I've been here for about 1.5 years now, and I am now the manager of Bespoke Motor Company, also the lead mechanic, so basically in charge of all my guys, the team we have.
We are in the land of primary colors. We've got all the colors of the crayon box here. And this is a new location from where we spoke the last time you were
It
at.
is, yes.
Now, that was at the former Roseland Theatre location.
Correct.
And this is a former warehouse, grocery retailer? What,
Yes, it was the McGregor's, it was actually a warehouse for the vegetables and produce for the community, yeah.
So you made the move over here, needed the space. Tell me a little bit about moving all of that equipment into this new space, this new location, and how it will help you see the vision, the goal of the Bespoke Motor Company.
It happened really quick. Actually, over a 3-week period, we came in, we emptied out the warehouse, painted all the ceilings, all the beams, and then started moving all the trucks and all the pieces and equipment down. Got all that done probably within the first week, and then it's taken us a couple of weeks to get everything set up the way we want it and get back to production, but we're back in full production mode again.
So it was around, I believe, 1907, 1908, the McKay brothers in Kentville had the motor carriage car, the Nova Scotia Motor Carriage Car Company. And then not until 1963, when Volvo had their assembly plant, do we see vehicles being put together, manufactured in Nova Scotia until this came. Where did this idea percolate from? How did this happen?
It was actually the owner and his neighbor were talking one night, and the neighbor was actually restoring an original FJ45 pickup,
right.
And they, our owner, he was interested in the process of doing it and everything, and they had talked about some other companies that are out there resto-modding them. They looked into the value of what it costs to have one built, and they're like, figured out, well, we can build it cheaper than that. So then they decided, well, why build one? Let's build a few. So then it snowballed.
Okay, so when you get in a hole and you keep digging. No, I'm just, in some ways though, it keeps growing and growing, and ultimately the goal is to sell these vehicles, this vehicle, to someone, and still not me. So talk me through, how that is, working as far as this company goes, where you're taking these vehicles and making them modern, making them new, putting them on the road and giving people a chance to own one.
Well, basically everything is new. We start from the ground up using pretty much all new aftermarket components. One of the biggest challenges is to get all these aftermarket components to work with each other, because it isn't a vehicle that was previously built, so we're starting from scratch. We do have a lot of old Toyotas in our boneyard, we'll say, that we use for bits and pieces and parts here and there, but majority everything is brand new.
So what is this built for? What, in your mind, would the owner of this vehicle use it for?
I believe the owner of this one will probably use it for weekend cruising, going to car shows, driving to work every now and again, maybe a daily driver. It's whatever, they could use it for whatever. They want to go beat it off-road, they could go beat it off-road. I wouldn't recommend it just because of the paint job that's on it. But it is quite capable to handle any off-road or on-road conditions.
Is that Porsche red? Is that?
It is, Porsche Indian red.
And there's no trailer hitch on this, so?
There is.
Oh, there is? Oh, so you can just haul your other toys with this toy?
Exactly.
Oh, man. So I would say that's pretty much a stock hood latch, is it?
Pretty much, yep.
Okay.
It is the stock one for a Toyota.
And up goes the lid. You get the sticky stick. That's the technical term for it, I'm sure.
Yes, sir.
The prop stick.
The prop rod.
Awesome. So this is, I see, Bespoke Motor Company on the top. This is, if I'm not mistaken, a Cummins diesel engine.
2.8
2.8 liter.
liter turbocharged.
And the turbo. And you built the plate for the top. You used your CNC machine for that.
Built in-house on our CNC router and then painted up by the body shop.
I like what you did with the fuel filter. Nice little hideaway there. Nice touch. And as far as making sure it stays cool, diesels are notorious for not heating up enough. Tell me a little bit about what you learned from the manufacturer and how it fits within this package.
Well, basically, in all our builds, we use Champion radiators. They're an aluminum aftermarket radiator. Actually, the diesel is running the same radiator that we're running with our LS package as well.
Okay.
And so far, fingers crossed, we haven't had any overheating issues at all.
Right.
And everything seems to work well. We do have air conditioning on this one as well, so there is a condenser down in there too.
Okay. That's a tight little engine compartment.
Yeah, there is also the intercooler for the turbocharger.
And that's
also there. That's encased in this heavy bracket.
Right.
And so, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Now, you talked about the other vehicle having, and several of the vehicles you're looking at Chevrolet LS series engines.
Yes. Yep.
Brand new crate engines.
Brand new GM Performance 6.2 liter crate engines.
And this came out of a box. This was, you ordered it and brought it in?
Yeah. It is the 2.8 Cummins turbo crate engine built for this application, basically. A lot of people use them in Jeep conversions.
Okay. And horsepower difference between an LS and this, big difference.
Quite a bit, yes. Yeah. There's about 161 horsepower here, and the LS engine we're using is a 525 horse.
All right. Probably not the greatest application for something you want to turn slow. You don't want it digging holes.
No.
As much fun as that would be.
Yes. Yeah. This is definitely the workhorse of our fleet. The other ones, of course, are more for fun and getting in trouble.
Clearly, the idea is to sell these.
Yes.
And to find the people that fit.
Correct.
What kind of a process do you have? I know some manufacturers like to kind of find specific people or maybe pitch them to specific people. I'm not sure how that you're approaching that side of the marketing of the company at this point.
Basically, right now, we're concentrating on building a few different models.
Okay.
So we plan to have maybe up to a half a dozen vehicles actually built, assembled, and ready to go before we do any advertising campaigns.
Okay.
Like I say, everyone's going to be different in different ways, different options. Of course, a lot of options can be swapped out as well if the customer does want something different than what we have built, or we can do custom builds from that point on. But as for the advertising right now, we haven't really done any.
When you started to tell people that knew you that you were involved with a manufacturer of automobiles in Nova Scotia, I'm sure they were like, say what?
Yes, definitely. But if you look back in the history of Pictou County and New Glasgow area, there has been a lot of manufacturing in its history. You have the Trenton Steel Works, you have MariTIME Steel. It was actually where our test track is on that property.
Right.
Just a lot of Michelin tires here, a lot of industry in the area. So it does seem kind of weird to be building cars in New Glasgow, but then again, why not?
It's very exciting. And now this particular one, did you get to jump in at that first day and turn it over?
I did.
And what was that like, knowing you'd gone through this whole pile of work to pull it all together?
Yeah, you get that excitement, that rush when it does fire up and everything operates as it should. There's always that fear of, okay, look for smoke. You never know what's wires got crossed somewhere, but no, it was flawless. It fired right up, purred like a kitten, or growled like a tractor. I don't know.
Whichever one fits, absolutely.
Yeah, but no, everything worked well. So.
Awesome. Well, maybe we should take a look at the interior. We could put the hood back down and button that back up. oh so delicate. Just trying to be delicate because if you break it, you bought it.
Exactly.
All right. So here we are inside. Is this considered a 1976
Yes,
FJ?
it is.
Okay. And I've never sat in a vintage one. This doesn't appear to be vintage in any way,
It doesn't resemble the original ones at all.
except for maybe the width, cabin width would be the same.
Cabin size, well, actually, this is the FJ45, so it's the pickup version. The cab from Aqualoo is actually stretched 6 inches.
Okay,
So you have 6 inches between that doorpost and the side window that is added into this one.
So FJ, so it's a whole new world to me. So you say a 4500 would mean a pickup truck style.
Yes, yeah.
And then the different model numbers basically account for how many doors, that kind of thing?
That I don't know. I know
Okay.
the 40s are the short ones,
Okay.
like the yellow one that's next to us. The 43 is actually 10 inches longer,
Okay.
but very similar to the 40. And then you have the 45, which is a pickup version.
It's a little misleading. It looks like it's a standard transmission.
It does, but it is an automatic. We do run the low car. Basically, they're hot rod shifters, but it is automatic.
So you just put it in driver, that's, I guess, assume overdrive with the little D. And then as far as that goes and how that works, is this your world? Do you know this stuff?
It somewhat my world. The transfer case, like I say, is a twin stick Toyota deal. We are having that mated to a GM 4L70E automatic transmission. There's a company called Advanced Adapters. They actually make the appropriate adapters to make the off-brands together. And there's also one between the Cummins engine and the GM transmission as well.
And the functionality, how does that help this vehicle become more robust off-road? What does it do?
I wouldn't say it's more robust for off-road, but it's using the best components that we can possibly find and mating them together.
Looking at the dash itself, and this is all custom, all
It
CNC
is
work?
all CNC router table work. It's a complete dash panel that we put on. Incorporates our air conditioning controls, odometer dash, digital dash, tweeters for our Focal speaker system, just all your switches and dials.
What kind of a price tag do you put on something that took hundreds, if not thousands of hours, that took all this trial and error, research and development, all of these pieces and parts put together? How do you land on a price? How do you decide?
Basically, the price, other than all the man hours that's involved, buying all the components are pricey as well. So it's not a cheap vehicle to buy. We're looking on this particular vehicle, we're looking at a price somewhere around the $340,000 range. Yes, that's a mortgage, but also you could go to the dealership and buy a brand new pickup truck and spend over $100,000 and it'll last you a couple of years.
Right.
This you could buy, you could own it forever. Like it would be something, it's got an aluminum body, it's got fiberglass roof and doors. It's not going to rot away. The frame is steel, but it's fully boxed steel frame. It's fully enclosed. There's no way for moisture or water to get inside to eat from the inside out. So unless you're to be really rough on it and roll it down a hill or something, she's pretty much indestructible from the elements.
Challenge accepted. No, wait, no, that wasn't a bet or a dare. Okay. And again, it's that age-old adage, if you have to ask, you can't afford. But these are very special. And I know that there's a lot of love, and it's hard to sell your babies.
And they're one-off.
Right.
There won't be another one that's done exactly like this ever again. So,
Which, again, is part of what I think your vision or the vision of the company is, which is to have people say, no, this is what I want, this is how it's going to look. And I mean, once you start opening the door to all those options, I mean, it doesn't end. The sky's the limit, but as much as you can afford it.
yeah,
Which
exactly.
is what we're talking about. I'm really excited about feeling this on the road, because I know we had a chance last time to start it, and I had that exhilarating feeling and the rumble and all of that, but going down the road, that's a whole different thing. And have you driven this yet?
Yes, I've had it out for about 50 miles, and we'll gladly take you out in it this afternoon and maybe even give you a chance to drive it yourself.
Ooh, excellent. I'm thinking we'll take it, we'll go get it undercoated, and then we'll go get it detailed, and then we'll go drive it through the dirt, and then we'll have a meeting with the owner.
And bring a blank check.
Maybe not. Oh, but I think there is no price on fun. Or, well, there is, but...
There is, but
we're just renting the fun for a little while. Now, that smaller steering wheel, was that something that you put some thought in? Because I'm thinking it... Traditionally, four-wheel drive vehicles, maybe they didn't have power steering, bigger wheels.
yeah, traditionally the stock Landcruiser would have a lot larger steering wheel, but they were manual steering, where this does have a Saginaw power steering box, a GM box. We went with the smaller wheel just to give the driver more room.
So you grew up not far from here.
I grew up probably about 15, 20 minutes outside of town, little village of Marigamish down on the waterfront.
It's changed a lot
It has.
in the last number of years.
Yeah, I've been away for about 20 years, so coming back was kind of a shock of how much stuff has changed and how much a lot of it is the same too, really. But
You kind of came from the motorsport era, from the NASCAR world. So how is this different from what you would have been doing on a team, putting a race car around in circles or ovals?
well, there's a lot of differences, but there's a lot of similarities too, because I try everybody to work in a team environment here. It's not one person with an idea and we just go on that idea. We share our ideas, try to group everything together. That just every one of these trucks is different, basically, because everybody's got different ideas. So, but the NASCAR deal, you have to be a team. So I feel here we need to be a team to make it work.
Racing, and for a long time, stock car racing was exactly that. Stock cars racing.
Yes, but there's nothing stock about a stock car racer. So it's, you hear that a lot. Like people talk about NASCAR today and say that the cars aren't real anymore, but really you have to go back to the 50s to find an actual stock car that somebody started with, but it's still highly modified. Like it may have a stock body on it, but it's been tweaked. Like I worked with some of the best in the business from that day, being Leonard Wood, and I've helped him restore a couple of vintage race cars that the Wood brothers ran back in the 60s, and there wasn't a lot of stock on those stock cars. It's surprising the things that Leonard was telling me that he was doing, and not thinking anything of it at that time, of modifying vehicles or modifying their pit gear and stuff to make pit stops faster or more efficient or whatever. It's just stuff they did to make themselves better. Ended up becoming the staple of the sport of lightweight jacks and high-speed air guns and that kind of stuff. A lot of it was just Leonard in his little workshop after hours, just trying stuff.
Right.
Well, let's take a run down to our track and
Sounds like a plan.
show you around the new territory.
So this used to be the steel plant.
This used to be where MariTIME Steel was, yes, and basically not much of a track here yet, just in the beginning stages of it, but we do have one obstacle over here that we can crawl around. James over here digging holes and planting fence posts.
Looks like a bumper crop. So what are we looking for grade here?
Steep.
Oh, you didn't even have to put it in four-wheel drive.
No, it's not that crazy. So yeah, we ended up getting a inflatable start-finish line as well. That's like 33 feet wide and
Oh, cool.
I think it's 15 feet tall. So we'll have that up one of these days. So did you want to make a lap?
Sure thing.
All right, let's swap spots.
All right. Here we go. Oh, smell the diesel. Have you had all four wheels off the ground yet?
No, we have not.
You shouldn't start today then.
No, that probably wouldn't be it. Wouldn't be the type of test that we want to do today.
Yeah, it does handle. It's quite nimble, considering it's fairly long wheelbase. And then anything I need to know,
Oh, just hit the gas.
go for the best.
Go to the other side.
And then down the other side. Like that. Fantastic. Meander. Bubbles on the outside. Am I the first to drive this other than you?
You are probably third, I would say.
Okay, I'll
Third or
take it.
fourth. Mostly shop guys. We have had one potential customer come down and take it for a test drive.
Yeah. What'd they think? What'd they say?
He loved it. He wanted to. He said that if he bought it, he'd put it in his living room.
That's funny.
He brought his. He brought his Lamborghini Yaris down to, when he came to visit us.
Well, Jeff Fraser, this has been a tremendous treat for us. Porsche Red, we've got the FJ 45, missed it by 3. A lot of fun today. Bespoke Motor Company, you guys are tremendous hosts, and thank you so much for giving me a chance to pilot this thing around the track.
Well, thank you for coming out. And like I said, the next time, hopefully we'll have the track finished and you can take one of our LS 6.2 liter V8 engine trucks out for a run.
That sounds like a great plan. So again, really appreciate that.
Not a problem. Anytime.
Thanks for the hospitality.
Thank you.